In this video, we're going to learn how to manage cells, rows, and columns. As you may know, if I select some cells and push the delete key on my keyboard, it will clear out the contents of the cells. Let's suppose though that I wanted to actually delete all of the cells themselves and not just the contents in them. For example, if I were to select these 4 cells and click the delete key, then the information in those cells would be removed, but the cells themselves remain. If I instead were to come down here, select these 2 cells, right click and choose delete, this will delete the cells and their contents. And so it wants to know, what should I do with the remaining data? Do I need to shift the cells remaining to the left, or do I shift the cells up? Do I delete the entire row, or do I delete the entire column? So if we choose to shift the cells to the left, you'll notice it moved this information that was in these cells over to the left to take up that space. If I come down here and let's say I delete these 2 things and I choose to shift the cells up, you'll notice it moved those cells up a row. And so at the very bottom of my data, if I press Control down to get to the end of it, you'll notice it shifted all of that information up, leaving an empty spot below. And of course, leaving all of this information mismatched in the process. So we have to be careful when we delete things. The next thing I can do is on any cell, I can right click and choose delete. And let's say I want to remove the entire row. Notice number 5877 is now gone. I could also do that with an entire column by right clicking, choosing delete entire column. Now that column is gone. But there's actually an easier way to do both of those. At the top here, I can right click and choose delete, and it will delete that entire column automatically. Or on a row, I can right click and choose delete, and it will delete that entire row without me having to click through an option box from the right click menu. Now I can do the opposite of all of this by inserting cells or rows or columns. If, for example, here I right click and choose insert and shift the cells down, I've now created a new space here and moved all of that data. Let's say I wanted to insert an entire new column. I could also right click, choose insert, and choose entire column. Again though, at the top I could right click here, choose insert, and it will add an additional column for me. Or I could right click on the side here and choose insert, and it will add an additional row. Another thing that's interesting to note about rows and columns is that these columns can have different widths. So if I choose column width here, I can change it by typing in a number, let's say 20. Or I can also hover my mouse here at the top and it will show me the width in a little pop-up box. And I can adjust it that way to be whatever I might need it to be. In general, I want to make sure that each column is wide enough so that you can see everything in the column. Let's suppose though that I have a column that's too narrow and I can't read everything because it gets cut off. So let's change this part column width here. And now you'll see I can't really see all of these part numbers. A quick way to fix that without having to guess how wide it should be is to just double click here at the top, and Excel will auto fit that column so that it can show you all of the information in it. And it checks every row below to make sure that you can see all of them. So even if you have a really long bit of information off the viewable page, when you auto fit that column, it will take that into account. I can do the same type of thing with a row by dragging to change its height or right clicking on it and choosing row height. Let's choose 20. Next, we'll look at making a comment in a cell. A comment is something that can help a user to better understand what a cell means, or it could help you to remember what you've done in that cell. So for instance here, let's add a comment to the price column. If we go to the review tab, you'll see there are actually 2 ways to add comments. Here in this comment section, you can click new comment, or you can add a note. Now the comments allow you to notify people and work collaboratively. The notes, on the other hand, if you choose add a new note, are just built-in boxes that kind of appear while you're hovering over something. So you may say, maybe this price was negotiated at a certain time, and I want to let people know that's the assumption that I'm making in the price. Every time I hover over that box, I'll be able to see it. The order quantity, if I add a new comment here, I can say mention someone in here using their account, and let's just say, when were these updated. And if I had mentioned someone using that symbol, let's say I mentioned myself, when I send that, I will get a notification in my account inbox. So you can also kind of see a chain of messages as people reply to those. You can delete comments or notes by choosing this delete option right here on the ribbon. We won't do that, we'll leave those in there for now, but I want to make you aware that that is true. You can also right click to choose edit the comment. Right here we'll right click on it, we can say edit note, or over here we can right click and we'll say reply to comment or delete comment. If I am the comment author, I can choose to edit it by hovering over it and clicking this edit button. Another thing I might want to do on a new workbook that someone has shared with me is see all of the comments or notes. If I click this show comments button, it will show me on the right hand side this little comments dialog box. If I want to see all of the notes, I choose this notes option and I choose show all notes, and the notes will pop up over the worksheet near whatever cell that they've been put in. So these are two different options on how you can share information within a given worksheet to help either yourself or someone using it understand what's going on.